Okay, time to play some Xbox. Oh, batteries again? Ah. I hate batteries. Why, Microsoft? Why?
Hello everyone, let's check out this new accessory for the Xbox Series S and X controller. This is the Armor X from Big One. It comes in two versions, the Armor X and the Armor X Pro. And the main difference is that the Armor X Pro has gyro sensors and compatibility with Big One's dedicated app. Inside the box, you'll get the Armor X and a dongle. This dongle is necessary for using the Armor X, so don't lose it. And here's the Armor X. All of the buttons have clicky mechanical switches. And you have a tiny USB Type-C cable that should be connected to the controller. You get a cable for charging. And let's take a look at the manual. Both versions look the same. The main difference is that the middle button on the Armor X Pro is used for turning on the gyro controls, and on the normal version it activates the hair triggers. And here's a quick look for the manual of the normal version. Installing the Armor X is super simple. Remove the battery cover, attach the Armor X, and connect the USB Type-C cable. Then you can turn on the Armor X. When installed, the Armor X design fits perfectly with the Xbox controller. The plastic feels the same and you have no rough edges. It feels like it's part of the controller. On the ergonomy side, your fingers should be accommodated exactly in the middle of the two back buttons. This way you can easily access the central buttons and the side buttons. If you tend to mash a lot and grip the controller really hard, the side buttons may be accidentally pressed. But you can leave those blank and use the central buttons, which isn't so easy to trigger. The middle gyro button is easily accessed with both fingers, but the surrounding buttons aren't so easy to find out which is which just by touching. The Armor X works exclusively with the dongle. which means that if you are playing on Xbox and want to move on to your Nintendo Switch or PC, you must take the dongle and plug it on that console. Basically, it works like a wireless wired controller, if that makes sense. The good point of this is that it allows you to use your Xbox controller in other consoles. Let's test it on the Nintendo Switch. And it works right out of the box, with gyro movements included. If you don't know, the Xbox controller have no gyro sensors. But the Armor X Pro has built-in gyro sensors, and it works quite well. I played Splatoon 3 for hours and I didn't find any problems. A downside is that the Armor X can't wake up the Switch. You have to manually turn on the console. And while performing lag tests, I found out that it has 1 or 2 frames of input delay. And just to make sure, I tested it in another game. And even tested in another console, and the results were the same. In the back of the dongle, you'll see a USB port. That port is used to play with the Armor X on the PS4. You should connect your DualShock 4 to the back of the dongle and then connect it to the PS4. The dongle light will become blue, meaning that it just entered the PlayStation mode. Then the Armor X light will also become blue. During this review, I disconnected the DualShock 4 and it worked fine. But talking on Big Big One's Discord channel, one of Big Big One's employees warned me that you should keep your DualShock 4 connected to the Armor X. This is because the PS4 will send a verification to the Armor X, and if the DualShock 4 is not plugged in, it will be disconnected. But this doesn't mean that you won't be able to use your DualShock 4. As you can see here, you can play 2-player games even with the DualShock 4 connected to the Armor X. Another function of the Armor X Pro is that you can simulate gyro sensors through the analog sticks. Apex Legends is a game that doesn't have gyro supports in any form, as you can see in the menus. But if you press the gyro button, it will tie the gyro sensors to the right stick, and it works pretty well. But you might not want it activated all of the time, so there's a second option. If you hold the button together with the right stick when activating gyro, it will only activate the gyro sensors when you are holding down the selected button. And if you hold the left stick and press the gyro button, it will tie the gyro sensors to the left stick instead. This is very useful for flight controls, just like in the Rainbow controller. Now let me show you some other functionalities. To remap a function to the back buttons, hold the back button you want and press the button remap key. Then press the button you want to record, and the button will be registered. To remove, hold the back button and double tap the remap key. Repeat the same combination with the function button to record the macro. Then record your commands and press the function button again. If you hold the button, the macro will keep repeating. And to remove it, hold the button and double tap the function key. Same thing goes for turbo. And with the profile key, you can cycle between 3 different profiles. By holding the function button down and pressing up on the D-pad, you can change the turbo speed. By pressing function and right, you can change the rumble intensity on the main motors. And by pressing function and left, you can change the rumble intensity on the triggers. And you can also combine functions together. Here I mapped a back button and activated turbo on it. This way I can choose to either hold the button or activate the back button for a quick and fast turbo. By pressing A and home, you can change the button layout from Xbox to Switch. But keep in mind that this works only on PC currently. Changing the button layout on the Nintendo Switch is only available with the Armor X Pro. I already contacted Big1 about this, and they already plan an update to allow the button swap combination to work on the Nintendo Switch too. This way, normal Armor X users will be able to swap the layout. Now, if you have the Armor X Pro, you can download the Big1 app from Google Play Store. In the app, you can easily connect to the Armor X Pro and configure your options on the go. Here I have a custom macro to the M1 button. On the Configurations tab, you can fine-tune the gyro sensor. You can also change the axis for horizontal movement. On the Sticks tab, you can customize dead zones and overall performance of your analog sticks. and you can adjust the trigger's activation zone too. And finally, we have the hair trigger function. This function allows you to do quick presses with the triggers without having to release the button all the way. Let me show you an example here on Apex Legends. And finally, we have the key remap tab. In this tab, you can remap any button and activate turbo. Lastly, with the Armor X Pro, you are not limited to those 3 custom profiles. With the app, you can have as many profiles as you want. I tested the Armor X headphone jack on PC, but it didn't work. The computer detected the headphones, but there was no audio. But then, I did a second test with the Armor X connected by wire. And now it worked. Moving to the teardown, the Armor X has only 2 screws in the back. When you open it, you can already see the battery and the components of the board. There are 4 more screws, and when you remove those, you can see the switches. Replacing these switches might be a bit difficult, but they are well protected with a rubber membrane. This rubber membrane will protect the switch against a strong pressure. And the battery wires are directly soldered to the board. Replacing the battery will be a little bit more difficult too. I'd like to see a connector here to make the repair process easier. And that's all for this review. The Armor X is a great accessory. It solves all of the main problems of the Xbox controller, while adding tons of functionalities of other Pro controllers like turbo, macro, back buttons, gyro sensors, and multi-platform compatibility. It has 1 or 2 frames of input delay, but on my experience, it didn't make much of a difference. As long as you're not playing fighting games, 1 or 2 frames of delay won't make you lose a game. With a rechargeable battery, you don't have to worry about replacing the batteries from time to time. And the final selling point is that it adds back buttons without the need to open your controller or doing any modifications. While removing a mod is a long process, on the Armor X is an absolute breeze. You can revert your controller to the original state whenever you want. And that's it for this review. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like or a comment if you want to help me out. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
31 minutes.